Shemu'ėl Aleph, 1 Samuel chapter 30. And it came to be when David and his men came to Ziklag on the third day, that the Amalekites had invaded the south and Ziklag, and struck Ziklag and burned it with fire. And they took captive the women and those who were there, from small to great. They did not kill anyone, but they led them away and went their way. And David and his men came to the city and saw it burned with fire, and their wives and their sons and their daughters had been taken captive. And David and the men who were with him lifted up their voices and wept until they had no more power to weep. And David's two wives, Ahinoam the Israelitess, and Abigail, the widow of Nabal the Carmelite, had been taken captive. And David was greatly distressed, for the people spoke of stoning him, because the being of all the people was grieved, each for his sons and his daughters. But David strengthened himself in Yah his Elohim. And David said to Abiathar the priest, son of Ahimelech, "Please bring the shoulder garment here to me." So Abiathar brought the shoulder garment to David. And David inquired of him, saying, "Do I pursue this band? Do I overtake them?" And he answered him, "Pursue, for you shall certainly overtake them and certainly rescue." So David went, he and the 600 men who were with him, and came to the Wadi Besor, where a halt was made by those who were left behind, while David pursued, he and 400 men. For 200 halted, who were too faint to pass over the Wadi Besor. And they found a man in the field, a Mitzraim, and took him to David. And they gave him bread, and he ate, and they let him drink water, and gave him a piece of cake of figs and 2 clusters of raisins. And when he had eaten, his strength came back to him, for he had not eaten bread nor drunk water for 3 days and 3 nights. And David said to him, "To whom do you belong, and where are you from?" And he said, "I am a young man from Mitzrayim, servant of an Amalekite, and my master left me behind, for I had been sick 3 days. We attacked the south of the Kerethites, and against that which belongs to Yehudah, and upon the south of Caleb, and we burned Ziklag with fire." And David said to him, "Could you bring me down to this marauding band?" And he said, "Swear to me by Elohim that you neither kill me nor surrender me into the hands of my master. Then I bring you down to this marauding band." And he brought him down, and saw they were spread out over all the land, eating and drinking and celebrating, because of all the great spoil which they had taken from the land of the Philistines and from the land of Yehudah. And David struck them from twilight until the evening of the next day, and none of them escaped, except 400 young men who rode on camels and fled. And David rescued all that the Amalekites had taken. David also rescued his 2 wives, and there was none missing to them, not whether small or great, whether sons or daughters or spoil or whatever they had taken from them. David recovered all. Besides, David captured all the flocks and herds they had driven before those livestock, and they said, "This is David's spoil." And David came to the 200 men who were too faint to follow David, who had also been left at the Wadi Besor. And they went out to meet David and to meet the people who were with him. And when David came near the people, he greeted them. And all the evil and worthless men of those who went with David answered and said, "Because they did not go with us, we do not give them any of the spoil that we have rescued, except for every man's wife and children, and let them take them and go." But David said, "My brothers, do not do so with what Yah has given us, who has protected us and gave into our hand the band that came against us. And who would listen to you in this matter? For as his portion is who does go down to battle, so is his portion who remains with the baggage. They share alike." And it came to be from that day forward, he appointed it for a law and a right ruling for Israel to this day. And when David came to Ziklag, he sent some of the spoil to the elders of Yehudah, to his friends, saying, "Here is a present for you from the spoil of the enemies of Yah, to those in Bethel, and to those in Ramoth of the south, and to those in Yatir, and to those in Aroer, and to those in Siphmoth, and to those in Eshtamoa, and to those in Rakal, and to those in the cities of the Yerahmeelites, and to those in the cities of the Canaanites, and to those in Hormah, and to those in Korashan, and to those in the Athak, and to those in Hebron, into all the places where David had gone up and down, he and his men.